YouTube family, my name is Elysia English and welcome to my channel. During this video, I'm going to show you how to use your silhouette cameo. This has been a highly requested video, and I know that using a new gadget in your shop can be really intimidating, but I'm going to take all that away and show you all of my tips and tricks. You want to make sure you watch to the end of this video for all the details on how you can enter to win a free silhouette cameo. Approximately 3 years ago, I made the decision to invest about $300 on a silhouette cameo. It has changed my life with my business as well as my home projects. At the time, this seemed like a big investment for a crafting supply that I didn't really need, but I'm really glad that I took the plunge and got one. I've been using this actively with my business for the past couple of years, and I've made a substantial amount of money using this product alone. I taught myself all the things that I already know on how to use my Cameo. There's a lot more things that I haven't even dabbled with this machine because the possibilities for things you can create with this machine are huge. You may have seen in lots of my other videos that I use my silhouette Cameo for so many different projects. During this video, I'm going to show you some tips on how you can save money using the materials for your own silhouette cameo. Here are the basics to get you started. You will find this tag inside your box, which tells you how to download the software that you'll need for Silhouette Studio in order to use your cameo. Your silhouette cameo will come boxed up with instructions and a code that you can use to contact Silhouette America to get some free designs. You're also going to get a power cord and a USB cord to plug in to activate your machine. When you first unpack your silhouette cameo, it will have lots of stickers and some styrofoam all located inside to keep it safe when it was shipping. You need to make sure that all of that is taken out before you use it. When you purchase your silhouette cameo, your blade is going to be located in a little section over here, as well as a blade that will cut your vinyl for you quite easily. You're going to have to install this blade into the area right here where it will slide back and forth. So to do that, you're going to follow this little line here and you're going to put it right where it goes in, kind of just like a puzzle, and turn it till it kind of pushes down into place. And then you're going to push that little section in to hold it in place. If you want to release the blade, you just pull it out and then lift up. Older models of Cameos will come with this black ratchet blade. The new Cameo 3s come with this auto blade, and the auto blades will automatically change to the cut settings that you want according to what you put into your Cameo. The ratchet blades you need to manually change yourself. The ratchet blade will fit in the Cameo 3. This is not a quiet machine, and so you might panic when you first hear your silhouette Cameo working because it makes all kinds of funny noises while it's printing out. So you just want to make sure that don't panic, everything's okay, it's just not a quiet machine. Once you've installed this software, you're going to get this Silhouette Studio icon located on your desktop. I'm going to open Silhouette Studio and get started. The first thing we're going to do is create a vinyl decal, and I'm going to change my lettering here. So I'm going to click my alphabetical A, and I'm going to push my cursor down onto my screen, and I'm going to type the word hello. I would like my vinyl decal to be about 3 inches by 6 inches. So I'm going to click on my word with my left cursor and drag the box lower. And I'm watching for the dimensions here that it tells me to the side of my box. So I'm going to drag it until the desired size. So that will give me a 3 inch by 6 inch decal. Because I would like a cursive font, I'm going to leave this highlighted and go up to the top here where it shows my different fonts that I have on my program. And I'm going to use this little arrow, click left, and scroll down and choose a font that I want my word hello to be. So I'm going to choose this Mallory script. Because I would like this lettering to be all one piece of vinyl when it's cut out, I don't want all of these little tiny lines which join the letters together to be there when I print it out, or I won't have one solid piece. So I'm going to weld those letters together by clicking the top panel here that says the word object. And then I'm going to click modify and slide my mouse over to the word weld. And you will see that it has now taken away all of those center pieces. Because my lines are red, those are showing my red cut lines. And this arrow here is showing where the vinyl will be fed into my machine. So I don't want to print the word hello in the middle of my vinyl. I want to use up all the space if I can. So I'm going to click it and drag it to the edge. And then I'm going to use something else to fill in this space so that I don't waste my vinyl. For the sake of the video, I've created myself 4 hellos that I'm going to turn into a decal. To print this out now on my cut machine, I need to go up to the word send in the top right corner of your panel. This is where the power button is located on your Cameo, and you need to make sure that it's pushed on. On the send panel, you're going to be able to choose which tool, material, and action that you're going to do. I want to cut my vinyl, and I'm going to use a matte vinyl. If I wanted to use a different kind of material, I can click this little arrow and select what type of material I'm going to use. You can select cardboard, cork sheets, duct tapes, vinyl, foil, lots of different options. You also want to be able to choose what blade, speed, and force that you're going to use for the material. When I cut with my matte vinyl, I like to change my blade to cut 2, speed 4, and force 12. Now that my settings are set to cut my vinyl, I'm going to thread into my machine my vinyl. And so you have some lines here that you need to line up with arrows, and you have some rollers that are going to connect. Because I'm using a 12-inch wide, I want my rollers to be on both sides, and I'm going to line it up with the blue lines on either side, making sure that the 2 end ones are touching the end of my vinyl. Using the display panel here, you're going to click load. Now that my vinyl is into my machine, I'm going to click send, and it's going to auto blade change and do all of the work for me on the other end on my machine. When your decal is done cutting, it's going to say job complete, and you're going to click unload to release your vinyl. Your Silhouette Cameo will have come with a cut mat. I personally do not use my cut mat ever. In about 4 years, I think I've used it once or twice. If you want to learn how to cut on your Cameo with no cut mat, you can watch my cutting with no cut mat video on my channel. I will put it in the description box below. You can see that I now have cut lines made from the Cameo on my vinyl. And now what I'm going to do is turn it into a decal. I'm going to cut off my excess. And I'm going to take out the outer edge that I don't want surrounding my letters. And I don't want the middles of all of the letters. I'm just using a pin to remove them. And now I have my word hello. I'm going to use a piece of transfer tape, just a piece of clear adhesive, to transfer my decal onto the surface that I want to put it on. So I'm going to press it firmly so it adheres to my transfer tape, and then I'm going to remove the backing from my decal that I made. And you can see that it's transferring on. If it doesn't grab, you can rub it a little bit harder so that it will hold onto it. So now I have attached my decal to my transfer tape, and I'm ready to put it onto my board. I'm going to transfer my hello word onto a glass mirror. You can transfer this colored vinyl onto pretty much any surface. I'm going to use mirror in this case. Just gonna rub it on nice and firm, and then peel off your transfer tape. You can purchase all different brands of colored vinyl from different price ranges. I personally don't use a whole lot of colored vinyl, as I use some clear contact paper, which I'm going to show you later in the video. But this is actually pretty economical, and you can do so many different things with it. Now I'm going to show you my favorite thing that my Silhouette Cameo does, and something that I couldn't live without. Next, we're going to create a stencil that we can use to make a wood sign. You can use the same format that we used to create the decal to make your own words, but I'm going to use a file that I already have by accessing my Silhouette library. In the search bar at the top, I'm going to type in the word welcome and open a file that I've already created by double clicking. So now it has opened it up in my Silhouette Studio, and it's all ready for me to cut in the size that I want. So I'm going to go up to my send in the right hand corner, click send, and select the material that I want to print on by using my drop down box. So I want a matte vinyl. And I already have my blade, my speed, and my force set the way that I want. And now I need to go and put my vinyl into my machine and get ready to send. We're gonna talk about vinyl just a little bit here before we feed the machine and get ready to make our stencil. There's lots of different options and materials you can use to create a stencil. The typical vinyl way is to use your colored vinyl that you can get Oracle or all different brands. I don't usually use this because I don't find it very cost effective. Through lots of trial and error, I found a much more cost-effective way of printing my stencils, especially because I can only use them for one-time use. You can buy rolls of CON-TACT brand vinyl. These are located in the shelf liner section at most hardware stores. This is coming in a 20-foot roll. It's about $10 for a 20-foot roll, which lasts me quite a long time if I'm just making smaller stencils. The rolls of contact paper come 16 inches wide by 20 feet. The Silhouette Cameo cut settings is only for 12 inches wide. So what I do is I cut along the side and remove the side that I don't need, about 4 inches, and I'm gonna show you what I do with that at the end. I go through quite a few of the contact paper rolls every single week, especially when I have a lot of orders when it's busy season. So I found that if you're going to work on smaller projects and you're not going to print as many things as I am having a business, you can actually buy these other rolls at the Dollar Tree that are only $1.25. This is called Magic Cover, and it almost is identical to the contact paper. It gives you about 4 feet by 16 inches, and I do the same where I cut off the 4 inches on the side panel that we'll use for transfer tape. I'm gonna demonstrate that in a second. I don't really like buying materials to use in the shop that I can't reuse or save money doing, or that's really that great for the environment. The problem is not everything can be bought that can be used multiple times, especially when I'm creating custom stencils using this material. I do make reusable stencils for myself when I know that I have multiples to make of the same thing. That way I can save throwing out some extra vinyl. I'm going to show you how the Magic Cover and contact paper vinyl works. So the Silhouette Cameo has a 12-inch wide section here where it's going to feed through comfortably. And because this is 16 inches long, I'm going to measure from the blue line here over to just in the middle of this roller. And then I'm going to make a mark so that I know where I need to cut off the excess on this roll. So I already know, because I do this all the time, that I can follow the little R on the word transparent and I can get cutting. There's lines, which makes it really easy to follow where you need to cut. I usually just cut off how much of a piece that I know I'm going to need for that project, but you can cut the whole roll at once if you'd like. Now I'm going to use this approximately 4-inch section that is left on the side, and I'm going to cut it off because I'm going to use this as my transfer tape. It's another way to save money when making stencils. You can buy different brands of transfer tape, but there's no need to have an extra cost when you can just use the side panel, cut off your contact paper. Now I'm ready to feed in my vinyl just the same as I did with the colored vinyl when I made my decal. Lined up with the blue line, hold it in place, and push load. Because the rolls are rolled up, they kind of get a little bit curly at the end, and I do actually like to feed this in a little bit further so that I don't have any problems when cutting. So what I do is I click this little arrow cursor here, which will bring up a new screen to help me move my vinyl in, and I'm going to use the down option, holding it down and letting it feed in just a little bit further so that it works perfectly when I cut my stencil. Now I'm ready to hit send and send my machine information to my Silhouette Cameo to cut my design for me. Job complete, so I'm going to hit unload. Now my cut lines are done by my Silhouette Cameo. I'm gonna show you how to weed out your lettering to create a stencil. I like to use a little bit of painter's tape on the edges just so that it doesn't curl on me while I'm weeding up my lettering. When your lettering font is large, this isn't as important, but when you're doing small lettering, you want it to lay as flat as possible while you're trying to remove everything to create your stencil. And now what I'm going to do is take a weeding tool, or in this case, I just use a little pin with a colored end on it. And I'm going to take out all of the letters where I know I'm going to sponge paint. So I start at the edge of a letter and I just remove each letter. So there was a great big W for the word welcome. I'm going to leave all of the centers of my vowels and the center of the loop of my L. I'm gonna leave all that down. This is why welding your letters together is important. You can see this is super easy to do. And once you do it a few times, it becomes even easier. Now that I have all of my letters weeded out, I'm going to show you how to transfer this image onto a wood board to create a sign. Remember that 4 inches we cut off the side? We're gonna use it now for transfer tape by removing the grid backing. All I'm doing is creating a great big long strip of adhesive. And I'm going to choose an area that I want to cover. I like to start at one end and then smooth it all the way down. And because that doesn't cover my whole image, I'm going to use another 4-inch strip for the bottom. And then I'm going to push it down firmly. You can use an old credit card or gift card to use the side edge to rub it, but I usually just use my hand, that works just fine. Take off the grid backing from the back. And that's going to leave my stencil that I cut out on my Cameo as well as the transfer tape stuck together. So I'm just removing the paper backing. So this is just plastic, doesn't have anything on it. And then I have My stencil and my transfer tape stuck together. So now what I'm going to do is lay it down on the board that I'm going to use for my sign and position it where I want it. It will not stick down until you push it down, so you have a little bit of time to manipulate it to see where you want to put it. And then once you've got it in place where you want it, I start from the middle and I just push out, putting a little bit of pressure down so that the stencil will stick down to my wood board. If you have some bubbles, it's okay. It won't affect anything when you take off the transfer tape, so don't worry. Now what I'm going to do is remove the transfer tape from the top layer of the stencil. I like to work on a little bit of an angle when I'm peeling off the transfer tape. You might need to use your fingers to manipulate it just a little bit in between some tight spots. You can now reuse this piece of transfer tape that you just took off for another project. Now I'm going to remove the bottom piece of transfer tape. If you'd like to see this in more detail, you can watch my wood sign video on my channel. I'm going to sponge over this now using white paint. And now I've created a really beautiful sign using a really simple stencil. Knowing just these two basics using the Silhouette Cameo, you can generate a lot of additional income and make some really awesome home decor items. The possibilities with this machine are endless. There are so many different projects you can use and utilize this machine to the best of its abilities. This is just a beginner tutorial on how to use this machine. We will go into further depth in how to do other projects with this machine in future videos. I'm giving away one of these amazing machines on my channel. In order to enter this contest, you need to be subscribed to my channel and comment on my video, Trash to Treasure #1. There'll be a card in the top of this video with the link. If you don't own a Silhouette Cameo and you'd still like to do creative projects like shown in my videos, you can visit my Etsy shop to purchase pre-made stencils and decals. The link for my Etsy shop will be in the description box down below. Now that we know that our YouTube family is across the globe, we made sure to ship worldwide. Thank you so much to everyone for the support on our channel. We have so much new content coming your way. We have some really exciting projects that we've been working on behind the scenes. You want to make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything coming up. We love you guys and we'll see you on the next project.